In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use the Pro Eyes Enhancement and Color Change Photoshop actions, which is a pack containing 5 Photoshop actions intended to allow the easy change of the color of the eyes. It can also boost the eyes and change them completely by creating some special effects. Okay, this is an example of an image which has been customized with the action. You can notice how the eyes look in this image and how they look in the original image. You can see they have been boosted in color and contrast and some other things. This is the results created by one of the actions, the simple color change action, and you can see it has the option to easily change the color of the eyes. You can put anything here. Okay, this is another image, another effect created by another action. This is different one. You can see in these images the eye, the pupil of the eye has been changed completely, and this is one of the other effects, the rainbow eyes. The actions allow the complete customization of the results. You can set the colors and how big the effects are inside the eyes and many other things. Okay, in order to use the action, we will first have to load the brushes that the action requires. There is a brush file the action requires in order to generate the effect in the rainbow eye action. Okay, we will have to go to the brush tool, click on this little button and this one too. It might be different in your Photoshop version. It can be a gear. And I'm gonna click on load brushes and select the eye brushes. Okay, and now we will have to load the actions from the actions panel. Make sure you have the actions panel on by going to the window and making sure the actions panel is turned on. Okay, I'm gonna click on this little button in the actions panel and load actions. Okay, I'm gonna select the actions file, click on load, and now I have the actions pack loaded and containing the 5 actions. Okay, now let's get started. I'm gonna open the original image again. I'm gonna drag it into Photoshop. Okay, I opened a JPG image. It has a locked background layer. Make sure your image is of an appropriate size, so the eye must be around, or let's say a minimum of 100 pixels in width. So this image, this portrait of this girl, is 4500 pixels in width, so it's a large image. And also make sure that the image mode is set to RGB and on 8 bits per channel. This is important for the action to run. This is actually important for lots of actions. Okay, on this image we will have to mark the pupil of the eye, of both eyes. So we will have to make a new layer. I'm gonna click on creative layer, name this layer brush. Notice the capital B of the brush layer, and on this layer I'm gonna paint the pupil of the eye. I'm gonna go to the brush tool and select one of the default brushes in Photoshop, let's say the first. Now here comes the important part for you to remember. Set a hardness of around 90%. These hardness set to 90% and not 100% or lower allows a thin area of transition on the brush. It's not very hard, let's say. Okay, and the size must be the size of the eye, because I suggest you only click once, and this is to make the paint area perfectly round. So let's say a bit bigger, something like this, and I'm gonna click just once. Okay, and the same here. I don't want to use a smaller brush and paint multiple times because I want the brush area to be perfectly round. This is important because we need the effects created by the actions to be also perfectly round. Okay, now we have everything ready. Actually, if you see here, there is a little area of the eye which hasn't been covered by the brush. I'm gonna delete this area. I'm gonna create a selection and delete, and I'm gonna deselect, and I'm gonna paint again using a slightly larger brush. Okay, because I want to cover the pupil completely. Okay, let's say we want to keep it this way. And now we can run any of the actions included. I'm gonna start with the last action, the number 5 action, the simple color change. I'm gonna click on the action and click on play. And now the action has created a result. It is contained in a folder. Eyes 5, simple color change, brush mask to hide unneeded parts. Okay. Firstly, you can notice that some other areas have been covered by the effect. These areas which we don't want the effect to be upon. So this is why the action creates this mask, this white mask, and says brush mask to hide unneeded parts, because we're going to zoom in a bit and use the same brush, and I'm going to brush with a black color on this mask, which is selected. I clicked on it, and we're going to hide the part of the eye which we don't need. We can set a lower hardness here, and also I'm brushing here. Okay, and also here. Maybe an even lower hardness. Okay, and I am brushing here too. Okay, and let's see, we have a result. Okay, nice. You can see there are some layers. This is the simple color change action. It is made of two main layers and a color changer. You can see a sharpness layer, which adds sharpness and boosts the eye. It has a high pass filter. We can double click and set a value. A lower value will just create sharpness, but a higher value will add some depth to the eyes. Notice the difference. Okay, and the color changer, you can set even a very powerful color. Notice how the eyes look with different colors. Even red maybe. You can create some very interesting and powerful eyes with these actions. Okay, so this was the last action, the action number 5. Okay, I'm gonna toggle it off. Now I'm going to go to the next action, the advanced color change. I'm gonna click on play. Okay, and now the same situation. It has a white mask and some areas which we don't need. But in this case, because I already brushed the mask on the previous action, I'm gonna delete the mask of the new result from the new action. I'm gonna click on Control or Command key and click on the previous mask which I brushed. Notice the area which we brushed. And now on this action I'm gonna click on this button here to add a layer mask. And now we have added a layer mask using the selection from the previous layer mask. Okay, this is the advanced color change action. Notice it has the same sharpness intensity filter that you can adjust, but it doesn't have the color changer action, the color changer layer, which allow the easy selection of the color. It has, however, some blending modes applied. It has an outer glow and an inner glow. And I'm going to double click. It opens the blending options. Notice the outer glow and the inner glow are on. I'm gonna click on them, and notice there are some values here. The outer glow adds some light to the white of the eye. It makes them brighter. Notice the difference. You can set a value here, whatever you want, for a size. To boost your eyes. This can make eyes very bright and the center of your image, which is exactly what you want. Okay, now the inner glow. The inner glow is responsible for the color. It has a size. Notice how you can add color to certain parts of the eye, from the exterior towards the inside, or maybe from the center. You can also play with the range to create a diffuse color change, or something in between. Okay, and of course you can set the color from here and add the color that you want. You can create some very interesting effects for fantasy images, or maybe horror themed ones. Maybe eyes which are black. There are many possibilities. Okay, so this is the advanced color change. Now let's go to the next action, the pure energy. I'm gonna select it, click on play. Okay, and now I have eyes which look like this. I'm gonna do the same thing I did for the mask. I'm gonna delete this one, Control or Command key, and click on the previous mask which I brushed, and on this layer group click on Add Mask to have the mask here. Okay, there are two layers here. They are smart layers. One of them has a Gaussian blur. that you can use to change the effects. And they also have blending options. Inner glow, which sets the color of the eyes. Notice what kind of eyes you can put here. You can create some very exotic and fantastic effects with this action. Okay, let's say we set this color. You can also play with the other options. Let's say okay. And now to change the outer glow, which was blue, go to the previous layer, double click on it, outer glow, you can disable it or add a similar orange or reddish. There is also an inner glow blending option that you can also customize for a different effect. So notice the eyes. You can produce some fiery eyes, maybe. I'm gonna click on undo. Oh, no, not this one. This one. Okay. So this is the pure energy action. Now the rainbow eyes. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing I did for the layer mask. Delete it, Control or Command key, select the previous one which was brushed, click on add layer mask. Okay, and now we have the rainbow eyes with the knife sharpness, intensity, and a hue saturation adjustment layer. I'm gonna double click and we can change the hue and basically change the colors of the eyes. There are many colors here and they can easily be changed. Okay. And now for the last action, which is the first in our pack, the Hypnotic Eyes. Click on play. Okay. I will delete the layer mask. Control or Command key, click on the previous, add layer mask. Okay. We have a color control layer. This probably will be the first thing you notice. Here you can add certain colors and effects to the eyes. There is an eyes central effect layer which is responsible for these lighter areas in the eye. They will vary with every image that you run the action on, because the eyes will look different all the time. The pupil, the iris will be different, and this is why this result will always be different. It has a Gaussian blur layer, smart filter. I suggest you keep it on a default value. A glowing edges smart filter, where you can change some properties here. For example, like this, and change how the glowing part of the pupil looks. And the hue saturation control for the main area of the eyes. To set the main color. Okay, so basically these are the 5 actions. You can use them to create multiple effects, as you can see, even fiery eyes. Where was it? Eyes which look like this. It is important to know that the way the effects look depend very much of the way the pupil looks in the eye. So you will get different results depending on the images which you provide. Okay, notice the boost of the eyes in this image. Okay, so this is it. Thank you very much for watching my tutorial.